Hi guys, how are you? Hi everybody, how are you today? So we got a pretty good show planned for you today. I'm starting this thing called Sharrell's Corner because I can't take it anymore by myself, where I'm going to read to you some of my crazy emails or, what I think is crazy. So I got a good one for you today. We're going to read that about Kandi and how they feel about my review on Kandi. What I do? Here I go. Here we go again. I'm going to share that with you. And then we're going to talk about the whole 50 cents on a new crusade to get Monique, the comedian, removed from being blackballed from Hollywood and how some people are down with it and some people are not. But let's start with this letter I got. So I just copied the main part of the letter on the screen. That way, I'm not calling anybody out. I'm just telling you what I deal with people on a daily basis. Okay, let me zoom in. I can't zoom in. Let's see here. Okay, so this is what the letter says. This came to my email. Okay, when I tell you I get tons of email a day, it's not a joke. Tons. And I thought that, well, things were getting better when I have the hotline. And so now people could yell at Perry, but they find some way to get back to me. They're in my DMs or in my email. So someone sent me this. So we did a review about Kandi. Oh, first let me say this about Kandi first. No, let me read this letter first. I did a review about Kandi and I'm not feeling the show. I'm not gonna lie. I'm not gonna say it is what I don't like it. Okay? I'm allowed to say that, right? I let you guys say when you don't like it. So I get this email. It says, "Dear Sharrell, blah, blah, blah." So I copy the main part of the letter. It says, some things I should know about the show. Okay. Chandrika is a college graduate, so I'm not sure why she's been a host for 3 years now. She's also has 3 businesses. She owns Shade of Dreka, it must be, operates several Airbnb rental houses, rents out kids' bounce houses, and teaches swimming lessons. Now, I didn't ask this person. Don't forget, I didn't ask this person this. Atlanta current minimum wage is $7.25 an hour, $7.25 an hour. So $12 is fine. The average salary for a host and hostess is $11.35 per hour in Georgia in 2022. They filmed this 2 years ago. Hospitality jobs pay low wages per hour. In fact, most waitresses make about $3 an hour, which is why they weigh heavily on tips. It's an extremely harsh business, just staying open and high turnover. Family Dollar pays cashiers $8 to $12 an hour. The OLG restaurant has a main floor upstairs, downstairs, and outside for entertainment. Is your bedroom that big, Sharrell? Because I said that the damn restaurant looks small on TV and is bigger than my bedroom's bigger than that. I still stand by that. Yes, my bedroom is bigger than that. Probably not. This is what they said. Now that you've decided that you do not like the show, there's no need to bring up the show to bash it on a weekly basis. They're telling me not to review the show. Either support out loud or hate in silence. What? I can't hate out loud. Okay. It's a fun, feel-good show similar to Sweetie Pies. I never liked Miss Joyce. This is a key. You never liked Miss Joyce? Chandrika, is this you? And then they send me a video of Kandi explaining why she rehired and kept some employees. I got to bring up my crew for this. I do. I'm not trying to be messy. This is called Sharrell's Corner. I'm going to have to bring up Diva last because V's going through some things. Hey, V.
Similar to Sweetie Pie? I don't think so.
Hey, Cash App King.
What's up?
Hey, Diva. Let's talk about this letter that I got.
Can I just say one thing? That person saying if you don't like the show, don't watch. Me, Perry, Diva, V, Sharrell, and the chat. We're the only people watching the show. You need the ratings, so you need us to watch the show. Don't you ever say don't watch the show when we're the only damn people watching it.
Well, and then take their own advice. Take their own advice. If you tell Sharrell, if you don't like it, don't watch. If you don't like what the hell we saying, you don't watch. Won't you go and breathe and hate yourself in silence?
Right. Them employees.
This letter is too specific about Chandrika.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because if she got all them businesses, why is she working at the restaurant?
She got pennies at the swap meet or flea market.
Why you at the restaurant?
Chandrika, stop writing me. This is either Chandrika or Don Juan.
I'm gonna lean towards Don Juan because I don't think Shadrika, whatever her name is, would talk bad about herself like that. Because he said, I don't even know why she's been here for 3 years and she got all these other businesses, right? I don't think she would do that to herself, right? So here's the thing, though, right? Why you gonna talk about either love it or hate it in silence? No, we have the right to say what we want to say. And if you watch every review, after the first episode, we wasn't all the way in. And we actually begged some people to give it one more show.
That was you. That was you, Diva. It wasn't me. That was you.
I begged the people. I said, give it one more show. Give it 60 more minutes. And everybody gave it another 60 minutes. And we hate to say this. It was trash. When you have a show out there like Vanderpump Rules, and you're going to be on the same platform, you got to level up. And so they did not level up. The restaurant OLG, it needs to be remodeled, especially since your new yo's about to come on TV and bring it, right?
Right.
You should have remodeled it. It should have been sexy. It should have been cuter. This ain't our problem. Don't put this on our back. Don't put this on our back. And your own worker said the wall looked like a funeral wall. We didn't say that.
Right, exactly.
We didn't do that. They said it. Your own worker sat on that camera and said you was underpaying her. Why is this our problem?
And the employees said that. The employees said the thing about the minimum wage. They said it was like going to 15 and the Family Dollar made 17. And that's where we got the information from. We didn't make that up. They said that on the show.
Right, exactly. And this person that's getting in their feelings and shit, whether Don Juan, Sandrika,
it's Don Juan. It's gotta be Don Juan.
Every time I do the double dutch, I really turn. Look, I don't know who it is, right? But the thing is this: you got a restaurant look like a converted townhouse. It's okay, but if you mad because your employee come out and said that Family Dollar paying more than the restaurant, we didn't lie. It's the truth that you got working for you to lie, right? Yeah. It wasn't Perry. Perry didn't make this shit up.
Right.
We just here talking about the show that you presenting.
Right.
But it is over the top. Why you got anytime you got a restaurant that you got more employees than customers? For one, we might have an issue, right? And flamboyant. Oh, I sell panties at the swap meet. She got this. She got a degree from Harvard. Well, why the hell are you in Kandi's restaurant?
Hold on, let me read these super chats really quick. So Lemonade says, this is someone from Kandi's camp. It really is. We're going to take a poll in a minute that sent you this. We don't have freedom of speech anymore. I mean, I don't know what they trust. Don Juan, what you doing?
Right.
Heather says OLG needs to be on bar rescue.
Exactly.
Right.
That's right.
Kitchen nightmare. Right. Clean that kitchen, allegedly.
Her dungeon looks better than her restaurant.
Come on now. Okay.
Yeah, run your banner across the bottom.
Okay,
One
one more.
really
We don't live in Russia. You can't make Sharrell disappear. Love you and Perry very much. Thank you so much. Like, they really told me stop reviewing the show.
Right.
I heard that
is
it was
crazy.
so small in there that people eating off of other people's plates because they don't know which plate. They sit so close together, they don't know which plate is theirs. That's
And then half the time, you don't know if they coming to work or going to the damn nightclub.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? Who the hell go to work looking like that? Now, tie, bow tie, extra thin draws for $12.
Right.
Yeah.
Listen, they knew the show was going to be compared.
Canilo's in his feelings. He says, Perry, you're not going with me to the OLG restaurant to eat.
And you know what? You damn right I'm not going.
Bonji says, we need to collect an offering and hire Gordon Ramsay to walk in there and yell at that mess of a restaurant. Listen, listen, this is what we're going to do. People. For the people that are just entering late, I'm going to read the letter again. Then we're going to take a poll to discuss who is writing me these letters. Oh, before that, let me spread some good news. Here, Kandi, I'll give you some good news. Your ratings did go up this week, okay? You went from 300,000 to 490. You're almost there, but Bravo likes it to be 1 million. And so Kim Zolciak was at 800,000. That's not shade. Is that shade?
So she might have to lose a letter because she ain't quite there. So she might have to rename the restaurant to OL. Oh Lord.
So that's the good news. I mean, listen, we review it like we see it. If we're not feeling it, we're just not feeling it. But let me read this letter one more time, and then I want the audience to take a poll on who wrote this letter. It's either Chandrika, Don Juan, and then somebody in the audience said Todd.
Yes, let's go ahead and add Todd on there.
Don Juan.
Could it have been one of the old ladies? Joyce?
Mama Joyce?
No.
Joyce wrote this letter. Let me read it again to everybody that's just entering so you guys could hear this again, because the nerve, they don't want me to review it anymore, people. And I'm gonna say, I'm sorry. Now I'm convinced to do it. Okay, it says Chandrika is a college graduate. So I'm sure I'm not sure why she's been a hostess for 3 years now. She also has 3 other businesses. This doesn't make any sense. If you are so accomplished, what are you doing at OLG? I'm just saying.
Yeah, this ain't her though, Sharrell. She ain't gonna talk about herself like that.
This is her. Let me read it and then we'll vote. She owns Shades by Drika, operates several Airbnb rental houses, rents out kids' bounce houses, and teaches swimming lessons. Okay, if she does all of that.
No, you said kids' bath houses.
And
swimming
shady on
lessons.
his own.
This is Shrindrika.
Shades of Drika is on the top of my list.
I know. And then Atlanta's current minimum wage is $7.25 an hour. So 12 is fine. Well, okay. The average salary for hostesses is $11.35 per hour in Georgia in 2022.
Mm-hmm.
They filmed this within 2 years. Okay. Hospitality jobs mostly pay low wages per hour. You said this, Perry. In fact, most waiters make about $3 an hour, which is why they weigh heavily on tips. It's an extremely hard business, just staying open and high turnover. This might be Don Juan.
Yeah.
This might be Don Juan.
Because he's going to work for $3 an hour.
It's not Sandrika because she said Atlanta currently minimum wage is $7.25. So $12 is fine.
It's fine.
$12
is fine. Todd, is this you?
This is Todd.
Family Dollar pays cashiers $8 to $12 an hour. The OLG restaurant has a main floor. Now what? This has to be Todd, because somebody's offended because I said that restaurant is so small I can't even change my mind. It says the OLG restaurant has a main floor, upstairs, downstairs, and outside for entertainment. And then here's Todd. Is your bedroom that big, Sharrell? Probably not.
Well, you know
He
what?
probably
though?
was
And
rolling his
guess
neck
what?
when he
Guess
was
what?
doing it too.
I
And
bet
guess
you
what?
Sharrell can
If
fit the
Kandi
restaurant
wasn't
in
so
her
weak to
room.
pick his weak ass up, his bedroom wouldn't be that big neither.
Because
It's
now
that.
that you've decided that you do not, capital letters, like the show, there is no need to bring up the show to bash it on a weekly basis. Then they give me a demand. Either you support out loud or hate in silence. I can't. Wait, hold on. Someone said, or hate in silence. It's a fun, feel-good show similar to Sweetie Pies. This is not similar to Sweetie Pies.
No.
Sweetie Pie.
Stop it, Todd. Stop. This is
No.
not similar to Sweetie
I mean,
Pie.
hell, it might be closer to Magic
And
City.
this
Let's
is
keep
how
it
I know
real.
it's Todd. It might be Todd. I never liked Miss Joyce.
That's Todd. That's Todd.
Todd. Lord, we already know it's Todd.
That's Todd. And then they said, here's a video of Kandi explaining why she rehired or kept some employees. I don't care about your video.
Nobody cares.
Todd.
Ooh,
That was promo for Kandi. That was Todd.
Someone
Todd
said
gonna get it.
maybe it's Bertha, Nora, and Joyce did the group project. I don't know
That
what's
girl
going
could've
on,
been
but
the
I have been
old
uninvited, officially uninvited to stop reviewing.
Wait, hold on. I know who it is.
Who?
The one, the Mama Joyce got into a fight. What was her name? The niece, the Rose, the
Bertha's
blonde.
daughter?
Yeah,
Edges?
yeah.
What color edges? Was it
Edges.
edges?
That's probably who it was because
And
I
she's
never
trying
liked
to
Mama
get back
Joyce.
in.
Boom.
She's trying to get back into the family business.
Right. And so she wrote this letter because Todd would be too obvious. I'm thinking that is Nora's daughter.
No, it has to be Todd because they
You think-
threw in the layout of the
No,
restaurant.
but you know
Who
what, Sharrell?
cares?
Todd is too busy worrying about the cousin that's working 68 hours a week on a $40 salary. I mean,
All right.
40-hour salary.
We're gonna take a vote.
We gotta
Audience,
take some
who
votes
wrote
here.
me this letter and told me to stop reviewing Kandi and the Gang? Is it Todd? Is it Don Juan? Is it Chandrika? And somebody in the chat said Mama Joyce.
I
She
could've-
gonna say she ain't like herself though.
Trust me, it's not
She
Mama
said,
Joyce.
I never liked Miss Joyce. That there's some key clues in here now.
Oh,
We
so
gotta
it's
get
not
the
Miss Joyce.
clues.
It's not. Okay, let's go. Let's start going. So we got a Todd.
Mhm.
We got a Todd.
Ooh.
Todd.
We got a
Oh.
Don Juan.
Oh Lord.
We got a T for Todd. People think it's Todd. We got another Todd. We
It's
got a
looking
Don
like Todd.
Juan. Really, Sharon? Kenya? We got a Todd. We got a Todd. People think it's Todd. Todd, we
Todd.
are calling you out. Stop sending me emails, okay?
Yeah.
And I'm not stopping reviewing the show, okay?
Because I haven't
Got
sent his
another
wife no
Todd. It's
email.
Todd.
If anything, I wasn't gonna stop watching it, and now
Look
I'm
at
gonna
this
watch
one. Crybaby Todd.
Crybaby Todd.
Don Juan.
Crybaby
You know what
Todd.
people are? Someone said edges. It's edges. What
Edges.
people are
See?
not saying. Oh, Philip, really, CC?
It's not
Carmen,
Philip. No, I mean,
We got a Don Juan, but nobody's saying it's Chandrika.
you know who Phillips remind me of on that show, though? Remember, like the Fresh Prince?
Don Juanita.
Fresh Prince, the show Fresh Prince, where you had Will Smith and then his brother. I can't remember his brother's name on the show.
Carlton?
Yeah, no, not Carlton. No, the one at the hotel or whatever they managed at the time. They had like a little hotel or something. But he was really squared up and boring and egotistical.
I have
Like
to
Philip.
stop. Somebody said Ace wrote it.
Who's Ace?
The Candy son, the
Oh,
little one.
yeah.
Ooh, that ain't right. They ain't right.
Not the baby.
Not the baby.
It is
shit.
definitely
It's
Mama
Todd, I
Joyce.
think.
everyone's saying Todd.
I mean,
this is
I didn't
Todd's
say it. The
MO.
chat said it.
Todd
So
in trouble because when Kandi sees this and he talked about Mama Joyce, woo,
Right.
child.
It
Should
should be
I
Mama Joyce
respond
throwing
to
y'all
Todd
off.
with my own DM?
Ain't nothing gonna happen, Diva. Ain't
I
nothing.
think I'm gonna respond to Todd, and I'm gonna say,
Yes.
Todd, I'm going to review the show next Monday. Check it out.
Hope you like it.
Hope you like it. This is crazy. When I start getting these crazy letters, I'm gonna start reading them on air. Now I'm not
Yeah.
gonna expose anybody or tell really good stuff, but I'm talking about these kind of letters that
It might help.
don't want me to
Make no
have an
sense.
opinion.
That make
Yeah,
no
it-
sense.
It might help to expose some of these crazy people out here.
It maybe Sharrell,
Right.
they was trying to do some reverse
Bro,
psychology.
you on mute.
That's why I said it's Mama Joyce. She could have threw her own name in there to throw y'all off.
Throw
This is
everything.
Todd. This is
No, you
Todd.
know what,
This is
Todd.
Todd.
Mama Joyce ain't got time because she's running the old lady game. You know what I'm saying? She ain't got time to be hitting up Sharrell.
What is she running, Perry?
All three of
Running
them
her
got
mouth.
together.
You know, no.
Her
If
mouth.
it was Mama Joyce, you would have got some profanity in that letter.
Yes,
You
you
did
would
not
have.
get that.
Yes, you would have.
Yeah.
Okay,
Let me-
Somebody
let's
who don't
move
like
on.
Mama Joyce.
Let's move on to our next topic. Oh, I forgot to put my thing up that Perry makes me. I love it. Let's talk about this whole Monique situation. Okay,
Oh.
that's the wrong one. Let's talk about Monique. And I didn't
That was
download it.
Monique.
Sorry. Let's talk about Monique. Okay, so 50 Cent just announced that he's going to be hiring Monique, who has been blackballed from Hollywood from because of the movie Precious with Lee Daniels, and she refused to help promote the movie. Oprah got upset about this. Lee Daniels got upset about this. They asked what's his name, Tyler Perry to come in,
Mhm.
and talk to Monique, and she refused to promote this. I think it was an award-winning.
Yeah,
Did
she won the
an
Oscar
for
supporting
Yeah.
best supporting actress. Yep.
She
Yeah.
refused to promote the movie. She said her part was done. I acted in the movie, and that's enough. Let me post this little thing up here really quick. I've never heard of such a thing. Most actresses really go hard for their movies because, especially when it has a lot of buzz like that, because they want pub. But she said, mm-mm. This is what the Shade Room posted. It just says here that 50 Cent stands up for Monique. Now, 50 Cent, we got to give credit where credit's due. He went from an actor to selling vitamin water for billions of dollars to Coke to now a producer, because that Power franchise is good. It is what it is. They spin off. They did one for Tommy. They did. It's been several. One is called Raising Kanan. This is what he wants Monique to appear on: Raising Kanan, and then the new one, Black Mafia Family. She is a great actress. We got to give her credit where credit's due.
Yeah, she is.
No problem with that.
But
Yeah.
your reputation is how Hollywood treats you. Because and people like Tamar, I didn't post it. Tamar came out in support of getting Monique removed from the blackballed list. A lot of people are saying, good for you, 50 Cent, for standing up. But is 50 Cent going to feel this way when she doesn't want to promote Raising Kanan?
No, he'll
I
change
think she
his
learned her
mind.
lesson. I think she's learned her lesson from Hollywood. How long has she been blackballed?
Yeah, a long time.
Years.
Yeah.
It's been way too long.
This is something that could be a blessing to her to get a second chance, because most people don't get a second chance. Once you blackballed in Hollywood, you're done. You're out. So I think that she's learned her lesson, that she's going to go in there with a different attitude and be a different person than she was in the past.
Well, she doesn't really have a different. I don't know. What about people that say Monique blackballed herself?
Well, I understand that
Michael?
though. I hear it. I mean, people make mistakes, things happen, but I'm not covering up for Monique, you know. But as far as your question, do you think his opinion would change if she don't go on Raising Cain? I think it will. And if he go out there too far for her and she don't do it, then it's gonna be another court situation. Like this one chick in.
50 Cent will snap. He's not Tyler Perry.
Well,
Right. He's gonna make it public.
He's not Tyler Perry, but what I'm saying is, haven't you been suing this one girl from Love and Hip Hop for the last 11 years? I mean, I was thinking about
Marie,
just to stop hearing about it. Let's start a GoFundMe for her. Pay off the bills so we can move on from that shit. But
I don't.
I don't see
well,
that kind of problem.
Let me say this, Sharrell. Back then, when Precious was out, what part of her problem was is that she only got paid $50,000 for the movie. But not only that, she claimed she wasn't going to promote because she was newly married, if I'm not mistaken, and I think she just had twins. And she wanted to go home and be with her family. Right. And she said, yes, they offered her a jet, but it's bigger than that. You know, when you only have 50,000 and you're trying to go around the world promoting a movie, like she needed more money. Like it wasn't going to work for her. My problem with Monique, though, is she stood 10 toes down on this situation for 13 plus years. And she's still asking for Oprah and Tyler Perry to apologize to her. Baby girl, let it go. You're talking about you're there holding this grudge for all of these years. And that's why people say she blackballed herself. You're holding a grudge for all of these years. And they over there winning, honey. He got a whole blocks and blocks up in Atlanta studio. Yeah. Okay, Oprah is living her best life. And you over here stewing, talking about, can I get an apology? Girl, bye. You better go out there and make your money. And then her husband, yes, he is the problem. That's why Tyler Perry.
Why is everybody saying the husband's the problem? They are going crazy in the chat.
Because he is. Because Tyler Perry said, I will talk to you, Monique, but leave your husband at home. He's a similar problem, just like Kevin, whatever his name was, to Wendy Williams. Everybody said that Kevin was a problem and they had issues with him. They say the same thing about Monique's husband. They tried to make amends with Monique several times, but the husband wasn't going for it. And now Monique is starving. I do commend 50 Cent for, trying to pull her up and bring her on. Hopefully she will learn her lesson. But if she goes out there running her mouth, still talking about she want an apology from Oprah and Tyler Perry, she's going to lose. She better just go act on these shows because she's an amazing actress, right? But see, also too, remember she had a problem with Netflix. She wanted to sue Netflix. Right. She wanted to sue Netflix because they wasn't paying her that much. For Monique, you haven't been on the scene for over a decade. You got what you got. You cannot get the same money as this girl that been working all of this time and you was home twiddling your thumbs and now you want Netflix to give you the same bag that they giving somebody else that has been working all this time. She got to get her whole life together. And I hope she recognized that 50 is trying to help her. And I hope she understands the gift that she is given and she just goes and handle her business and shut her mouth and tell her husband to shut his mouth too.
Let me let AT2 say something because he's got to go soon. Yeah. AT2, what's your thoughts?
I really think with Monique, what she need to do is just act. 50 Cent is giving you this opportunity. Let him, produce, get you on the show, and your success be your revenge. Because at this point, Tyler Perry and Oprah isn't going to give you an apology. Do I think Tyler and Perry and Oprah deserve to give her an apology? Yes, I do. Because those are two big head honchos in Hollywood, Black Hollywood. They didn't have to do her like that. They could have just said like, oh, you know what? We ain't fooling with her and not gave her a job. Don't try to ruin the woman's reputation. Those high power people.
I know you got to go. So I got to push back quickly. Listen, Oprah Winfrey
15 more minutes. Let's go.
Okay. Oprah Winfrey's one of the most powerful women in Hollywood. So is Tyler Perry. So is Lee Daniels. You mean to tell me that Monique couldn't do them the solid and just promoted the damn movie?
For me, I don't feel like she should have. I think that, she did her part. They paid her $50,000. I think, an Oscar-winning movie to get paid $50,000, like I would have been like, oh, well, shit, that ain't nothing. I ain't doing nothing extra. Now, if it was like $1 million, I could see her be all like, okay, I'll do this little
Some
promo
people
for
will do
you.
a movie for free, AT2 for an Oscar.
Yeah, but I think Monique doesn't get wrapped up in the whole Hollywood thing. I think for her, it's more like
if you
she's
worked at McDonald's and your boss asked you to work the fries for an hour, are you gonna tell him no? Because your feet tired?
no, but it's different. Monique ain't flipping burgers and making fries. Monique was just there trying to get, doing her acting thing. The movie because what it was is that the movie happened to get picked up after it was independent and stuff like that, and that's why they were trying to get her to get flown out here and there and do all the extra stuff, and she didn't want to do it. And I don't blame her for not wanting to do it if you ain't gonna get some more change, like a free trip is cool, but give me some more.
All the other actors in Hollywood do it. That's
Yes,
part
they
of the
do.
contract. They promote their movies. Now, why does she have to be so different?
She knew what she signed up for. She
Right, but the
signed up
baby,
for that
you got to remember the
$50,000
twins. She
paycheck.
didn't want to leave the twins and all that stuff, so she probably was all like,
people
I
in
mean,
Hollywood
she
kids.
still won the Oscar though, so her talent spoke for herself.
Right, but
There-
she
there-
got
blackballed after.
than anybody else. Everybody at that time and still now promotes. If they're in a big movie like that, you promote that movie. How many
Yeah.
times you can see Tom Cruise, Angelina Jolie, all these people going on these talk shows promoting that movie? Why she got to be so special?
There
Well,
are
I see
people
your
in the
point.
chat saying that I am submissive. Like, am I submissive or do I understand how the game is played? If Oprah Winfrey asked me for a solid, am I going to tell her no? This is not worth
Right.
getting blackballed in Hollywood for.
Right.
You
Now,
gotta
if
know
I had
you
done
can tell her
it,
no
I
if
would
you
have
feel
done
like you
it.
didn't
But
need
for
her anymore.
Monique, she didn't want to do it.
Well, yeah. Or maybe I'm a kiss ass. I don't know.
No, that ain't it, Sharrell.
No,
You
Sharrell, like the
gotta
whole
know.
thing is this. I mean, it's a choice everybody got to make, even at a regular job.
Yep.
Should I bend a little bit here
Yeah,
to secure
yeah,
something?
yeah.
Or no, what you asking me is too much and I don't care that much about this job. So you can shove it.
Right. But I also think it was a personal thing too, because wasn't it I remember hearing that Monique was mad at Oprah because she had either the brother or the mom or something like that on the show, and
brother.
on the Oprah show, and like she was all like, I don't want, she wasn't cool with that. So I feel like with Oprah, she was all like, you know what, screw you, I ain't gonna go up there and
But even with that, AT2, listen, let's just take it to a blogger level. We try not to talk about other bloggers on here.
Right.
Because some things need to be handled behind closed doors because they lead to more trouble. She did a tour telling everybody how much she didn't appreciate Oprah and Tyler Perry and Lee Daniels blackballing her.
And then she taped Tyler Perry apologizing to her and admitting he was wrong, and then she wanted to play the tape phone call. Come on, she's doing the most.
Yeah.
Well, the thing is that her husband probably held her to that. Sometimes when you're in a relationship, your partner might, tell you to do things you ain't supposed to do. I don't think Monique did that on her own. Now, I do believe that the husband ain't no good.
Why
I do believe
does
that.
everybody hate her husband? AT2. Why does everyone?
I think what it is that, whenever it's a man managing a woman, we automatically go to Ike Turner, even if it doesn't have to have anything to do with, what I'm getting at. I believe that we automatically go to Ike Turner, like, oh, he's controlling her and stuff like that. We never think like, oh, she's in control of herself. And then they said that whole weird thing about the open marriage thing, but then they said, no, we were talking about open to spirituality, not open and like we sleep with the shit was weird. So we were confused by that. It was a whole bunch of stuff we was confused by.
Yeah. V, because you say that Diva's my favorite. V, I'm putting you on blast. V be calling me out behind the scene. Is there anything you want to add to the conversation?
Sometimes these people that are up and coming, like Monique was, she was really up and coming from that movie. They do get controlled by forces that like Wendy and some of these women that have these powerful men that want to manage them. They do get a little controlled by that. And Monique was already the outspoken type anyway. So she's not going to sit back and let people take advantage of her. And if she got somebody behind the scenes pushing her, saying, I wouldn't let them take advantage of me, well, then that probably made her a little more extra than she would have been if he hadn't been behind her pushing. But you know, you have to. The reason why people are saying she blackballed herself, you have to follow protocol.
Hello.
Nobody special. If they say that you have to, this is a movie that you're in and you need to go out and promote that movie, I don't care if you got 20 kids at home. That's not their problem.
Why is so many people going in on Oprah in the chat? People don't like Oprah. I didn't know people didn't like Oprah. Let me start bringing up callers. This is crazy.
Yeah, they said this is in Oprah's history, you know, the way she treats people.
Oprah Winfrey treats people bad?
This is what allegedly the streets are saying.
That's the rumor?
That's what the streets saying.
Yeah. Yeah. That's not the first time y'all heard that before, right? Y'all heard like Oprah.
I heard that Oprah treats people bad.
Okay.
Oh, people said,
put a word in the chat if you heard.
I didn't know. I'm sorry. I didn't know, boss. I didn't know that Oprah treats people bad. Somebody come up. Let me start taking calls to see what people are talking about. AT2, you just pop off when you're done, okay?
Okay.
Hey, it's for Lisa. Hey, Lisa.
Hi, it's the same person. I just put my real name out here today because I'm not going to say too much inspirational today. I need to get messy.
Before you get started, did you hear that Oprah treats people bad?
Absolutely.
She said she's gonna be messy today.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Tell me what you heard.
I'll tell you what I know. I was in Chicago when she came up. I remember nappy Oprah. I remember fat Oprah. I remember skinny chicken wing Oprah. I remember fat Oprah again. I remember pretending like you dating Stedman Oprah. I remember all them Oprahs. And ain't none of them good. All of them done personal friends of mine wrong. Okay.
Like what? Give me an example. Like what?
Honey, not paying people, telling people, basically forcing people to do work all kinds of crazy hours, do all kinds of stuff because she's Oprah.
Ooh.
Because she was going somewhere. And you bet not be in Chicago, you know, especially when she got big and had the Harpo Studios and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
You bet not be in Chicago and think you're not going to go through her to get somewhere else and to get on to another show or onto a play or get to meet such and such and so and so. That is that woman. AT2 is saying the right thing. It wasn't that she was, first of all, she's not a blogger. So, I mean, I'm gonna hold her to a higher standard because that's what she put herself.
Right.
Okay. So when this woman, she knew already that Monique knew she was having this discussion and they was going to be discussing the issues that went on in Monique's, you know, upbringing and all of that. And she asked Oprah not to bring her mama on that show.
Yeah, that's what she said.
That's what it was.
Yeah.
She asked Oprah not to talk to her mama. And Oprah told her she wasn't going to talk to her mama. And because at that point, Monique and her mama had not mended their fences. They had not come together. Okay. Now here's a superstar. Monique's a superstar in her own right. Let's not sleep on that.
Right.
And then this woman here, she tells her, I'm not going to talk to your mama. And she go talk to your mama. That's a well-whooped ass. I'm going to come at you.
No, but okay, Lisa. I agree with what you're saying.
Woo.
But a lot of people are calling me a kiss ass in the chat.
Okay.
But this is how I am. You have to know who you're talking to. So if I'm talking to the president, I might not like the president, but I have to respect the position.
You know what? But Oprah ain't the president and she ain't in no position. This is our problem. Will we allow people, I'm going to just speak on the Black community.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. We allow these Black gatekeepers to put themselves in these positions. And then we allow these Black gatekeepers to tell us how, why, when, what for, and who done it. While our Caucasian counterparts are actually getting paid to do press tours, or they're getting other things, or in their contract, okay, I'm gonna go do this press tour, I'm gonna go do that and the other, but then I'll get a larger cut of the actual profits on the back end. So you might not pay me on the front end, but I'm gonna get paid on the back end. They did none of that for this woman and paid her absolutely nothing.
Contract, though. And there's a lot of R&B artists, there's a lot of stars that they complain after the fact, but they signed the contract.
I
So she was
understand that,
in
but
the
that isn't
game
right.
and she should
Eva.
have had a lawyer. She signed up for this. When it first did that movie, it was a very low budget movie. They
Yep.
didn't expect that movie to do what it
Right,
did.
right.
No,
So
Right.
not a lot of people that was in that movie did not get paid like that.
Exactly.
She signed the contract for $50,000. And so afterwards, if you want more, then you try to renegotiate that. But she got mad because they was like, whatever, to just go promote the movie. You gotta renegotiate. You can't get mad. You talking about I only got paid 50. Well, you negotiated 50 and you signed a contract for 50 and they gave you your check for $50,000.
This is
And
where
I
I'm gonna.
think
that
every
goes back.
This is
industry,
where I'm gonna.
but wait, let me just add this to it. Let me add this to it. I
Go
think
ahead.
every industry, whether you're an actress or you work in corporate America or you work in Target and McDonald's, every now and then you got to kiss the ring. If you do not kiss the ring, you will find yourself unemployed. You will find yourself on the outside. You will find yourself not getting a raise. I'm not saying it's right, wrong, or indifferent. I'm just saying I don't care who you speak to, corporate America, Target, Walmart, the supervisor, the manager. Sometimes you got to kiss the ring so you off on Christmas and somebody else is working. Okay. So I'm just saying that you got to know the industry that you're in, the role that you got to play. And when you got two major players like Oprah and Tyler Perry, I'm going to talk to my husband and say, listen, I only got 50,000 for this. They sending the jet for me. Let me negotiate going on a couple of these things and then being home for a couple. I got to do this so that when the next movie come out, I'm in like Flint. I'm going to get the next step. But when you want to turn your nose up to two major players, you paid the price. And she paid a 13-year price of not working for what?
Oh, this is so good because Lisa, you're representing a certain amount of people in the chat, and so is Diva. Speak for Team Lisa. What do you?
So with Team Lisa, Team No Kiss Ass, I don't. I'm gonna tell you something. And I worked corporate America for many years. I worked up my way up from being a secretary all the way to being a marketing manager. Okay, overseeing 30 people in my organization, and I don't have a marketing degree. So and let me tell you one thing: they put their pants on the same way I do, one leg at a time. I am not about to sit here and become unintegral and devalue myself. Okay. Now, what I also want to tell you is the other side to that story is when you hear the full story, she did try to renegotiate. She did try to work with them. She did do a certain amount of press that she was asked to do. When it came time to doing more, she had her twins. When it came time to doing more, she tried to negotiate, and they basically told her what you're saying. Well, you just got to play the game. And she did not at this point. You remember now she is an older mother. She now has a good husband, or she's happy. She's got a family. I have to honor that mother. And if these people weren't willing to work with her, how is that her problem? And as far as the blackballing thing, I'm gonna tell you this: them people was good for 13 years too. I'm not gonna sit here and say this woman had to eat crow and swallow her pride because these people didn't want to do right. They did not do right by her
13
either.
years of not working.
It's called Hollywood.
Begging somebody for a
and she was working, by the way. She was working.
It's called
No,
Hollywood.
you know.
She was barely working.
But we gotta
let me say
give
this.
Monique her credit for at least like putting her foot down, because I think, you know, with Oprah, Tyler Perry, Lee Daniels, they probably went all like, oh, okay, we know we can't play with the next person, so we gonna make sure that we put the fine tuning in the contract when we do this. But Monique unfortunately had to be the sacrificial lamb and been the person to be the example. But I do think there is a thing where, people in Hollywood and in our real jobs, in our real lives, they take advantage of you, and we just kind of say, oh, okay, we'll do it. We all work those jobs. But damn, at a point, you got to say, no, hold up, homie. This ain't going down like this. You got to check them real quick, politely, but you got to know real quick.
I would agree with that. I would agree with that. I would agree with Lisa. I would agree with Diva, right? It's a middle ground. Like, life ain't fair. So let's start with this premise. Life ain't fair.
Yep.
You have assholes out there. But at the same time, because you got assholes, you still got a living to make. So when you step out here and sign this contract, I'm not saying Oprah did her fair, right? But you get to know the repercussions on certain
13.
things you do.
Yep.
And trust me, most of us on the panel, we understand the repercussions.
Mhm.
If I don't do this, yeah, it's like eating crow, but at the same time, we all have ate crow at one point in time on this
Come on, we have.
What about that, Lisa? That's just the way corporate America is set up. You might not like your boss, you might not agree with your boss, but at the end of the day, that's your boss. And
You get to
even
know-
though Lee Daniels was her boss and he asked her to do something.
You get to know what your goals are. Rappers, music in the music industry, they go through it on a daily basis.
What do AT2 and Lisa say about that? It's true.
Let me tell you something. I guess that's why I built my own business. I make my own money and don't nobody tell me what the hell to do.
Yeah,
I
that's
mean,
the only way out.
I have done a lot of things over the have I had bosses that, you know, I'm trying to feed 3 kids. I'm a single mama. Have I had bosses where I was like, okay, you know what? If I catch you out in the alley, it might not be the same thing. Yes, of course I have. But you know what? And then maybe this is the way, this is the middle ground, as Perry's saying. I didn't go off because I had 3 babies to feed. Now, Monique had the luxury to be able to go off and still have money in the bank. Let's also put that in there. But I did find me another job, and before he knew it, I was gone. You know what I'm saying? I did not stay where I refused to stay where you're going to denigrate me and you're going to disrespect me. I will not stay there. I guarantee you I will get the heck out. Now,
but you said something key. You didn't go off. She's in the streets blacking out. Keep saying they've been doing her wrong. She's been on this campaign for 13 years. And really, it's a disservice to herself. She's been on a 13-year campaign, and all she's begging for is an apology. Is that really serving you well? You saying I want them to apologize. And when they apologize, then what? And then what? When they apologize, then what? If they did.
Because unfortunately, she didn't have the luxury of switching jobs and going to another platform.
You know, she has the luxury of having millions of dollars in the bank and sitting at home. I didn't have no luxury. I had to go out there and do what I had to do.
But did she really? She only got 50,000 for the show.
Hollywood is a small area. Hollywood is a small area. And unfortunately, if you piss off the top people in a certain area, you're not going to be able to jump over to another area. They do what they did to her. They blackball your ass. So that's what happened.
Monique, where Monique messed up was that she didn't have anything else lined up. Like, you know, once she realized that, oh, they ain't gonna be messing with me and stuff like that, she should have had something lined up, because what happened was that she wasn't getting any jobs or anything like that, except, you know, comedy gigs and stuff like that. But the roles weren't, you know, the big movie roles weren't coming in, especially when you win an Oscar, you used to be getting big movie roles. But she didn't have anything lined up. She should have had like a production company and started putting out her own movies, you know, and stuff like that. She should have capitalized on the moment, because what happened was that she kind of disappeared out of the, you know, mainstream. She disappeared out of mainstream and didn't capitalize on anything. And so when she came back, all of a sudden she was all like, I got blackballed and this is what Tyler Perry, Oprah. And it just kind of looked like everybody kind of looking all crazy, like, oh, now all of a sudden you saying something. It should have been she should have already capitalized on it, had her own production company and stuff like that in the working, and then came out and was like, well, this is the reason why I had to start my own, because Tyler Perry and da-da-da-da-da. She just kind of relied on, you know, doing the little comedy gigs here and there and didn't capitalize on like starting her own production company. That's where I believe she messed up.
Right. AT2 said this, right? And I'm going to piggyback off this real fast. We all, and we're not even talking about being an actors or rapper or singer or none of that. Everybody in the chat has been in a spot where you can't stand your job, the situation of the job, the bosses, and you realize that they ain't shit. Okay. But you know, you got to continue this journey until you find a better route for yourself, like some kind of strategy, right? Say, if Monique looked at them and said, hey, you know, they screwing me over. You don't forget what they did to you.
Hello.
But if you in this situation, try to make the best for you. And if the best for you is saying, I'm out of here and you owe me an apology, that's the best for you. It's a choice you made, right? Or I can continue this thing and then hopefully one day I can get out this contract,
Mm-hmm.
learn from my mistakes, and hopefully
do what I do.
find a better employment. Right.
I just can't ask the house person whether or not I could come in the house. Now, let me shut up. This is your channel. I'm gonna be quiet, but I can't ask the house person when I come in the house. There just comes a point in time where you got to be like, they did that woman wrong, and if she wanted it, she wanted it.
No.
Let me shut up. I'm gonna shut up.
Mel, what's your opinion on this? Lisa's crazy. She's funny.
It's wrong.
Well,
we have to tell our kids, if a cop pull you over for no reason, you just stay quiet, put your hands on the wheel, do all this stuff.
Exactly.
What I'm trying to say
different
is,
situation.
I'm not saying they did her right. Do not take me the wrong way.
Right.
But we know when people make money, they get egos.
Yep.
And only the person they worrying about is their own ass, right? Just what they got. And then they turn this power against their own people, right?
Well,
Yeah.
I'm not saying it's right, but I'm saying it's a choice we have to make as an individual.
But it's very different from a police officer that has a weapon that could you know what I'm saying?
Well, no.
Okay,
It
hold
is
on.
very different.
Hold on, Perry. Let's get some more opinions in here.
Okay, my bad.
Mel, sound off.
Well, I'm saying because I'm enjoying the conversation. I'm listening. But I will say this. I think that for me, Monique, first of all, I don't think that what she's saying is wrong. I think that for me, she has to acknowledge that she did make a decision that, I think she was treated badly. Now, I want to say it's about Oprah. I think that I feel in my heart that Oprah would have pulled a gotcha moment on maybe another kind of celebrity, the Tom Cruise or whatever. I don't think so. I think that she pulled it on her sister. She had a reaction. And you know what? And her reaction was hers. I want to say this too. Joan Rivers, God bless her, she's gone. But she used to say in Hollywood, she was blackballed. And she said she used to go to the parties in Hollywood and knew the people backstabbed her. She had to shake their hand and smile on their face. She played the game. But Monique, on the other hand, was like, you know what? This is not what I'm going to do. I don't blame her for that because for me, I'm not sure if I could be that fake. I would say this. So when you're up there on that show and you're doing your family, conversation about something deep and dark, if somebody pulled a gotcha on me on the public platform or something like that, I probably would have my feelings too. And I wouldn't be able to have it. But Monique did make a decision. She made a decision to speak her truth. Now, is Oprah and them wrong? Yeah, I think that Oprah, she definitely, she's no saint. She's no saint, and she obviously, she has a history of that. I think even Rosie O'Donnell wrote an article years ago saying how she interacted with her behind the scenes, that she was a high riding, so and so, and yeah. So there's always rumors that she was very militant and very, very almost inhuman with her staff. And that the people of color, that was the people that came on the show, the stars, they got treated differently than maybe the other people got treated. So Oprah's she's no saint, but Monique got more militant as the years gone on. She wasn't that sort of Miss Parker, which I grew up on. She was like,
you did.
Well, I grew up on Miss Parker. So when she got her husband, and she was like, oh well, we got to be this and the Black Power and this. Listen, I'm all for that. I'm like, okay, sister, I hear what you're saying. I'm here for it. I think also her brand now is to be this sort of like bombastic militant woman who's out there saying it's not true.
So Mel, if Monique, if 50 Cent asked Monique to do something she doesn't like, is she gonna act the same way?
She probably would cuss his ass out too. Why not? She cuss him out too. She cussing out Oprah, the queen of Black Hollywood.
Yeah.
Not this time. Not this time.
How do you know, V? She just was complaining about Netflix.
Because of them 13 years. It couldn't have been easy for her in 13 years. And for somebody to give you a second chance, that's something rare in Hollywood. You don't get a second chance.
Well,
even you're shaking your head.
Or what about that 50 is not going to ask her to do nothing she don't want to do because 50 don't need her to do. 50 is his own troll machine. Absolute. He's going to promote the mess out of it. Maybe 50 won't ask her to do something.
Maybe you won't.
But does she want to be stuck with just 50? Or does she want to use the platform with 50 so she can grow and get back in good with the eyes of other people? The thing is, I get it, right? Nobody's saying, oh, you want to bow down to somebody. But I don't even care if you own your own business too. Sometimes with your customers, like, you don't want to take mess, but you got to start respecting somebody and things have to go through on some different levels, okay?
Correct.
I mean, listen, no matter what you do in life, there's somebody that you're going to bump into at some particular time where you have to make the decision. You know what? I'm just going to take the higher road. I'm not in love with everything they say and everything they do, but you never know who connect to who. I had a friend one time. She had an issue with divorce in this a particular industry. And when she was leaving, she was going to write and say this scathing thing. I said, do not, do not, do not. Because unfortunately, when you're in certain industries, this one knows that one calls this
Yeah.
one, and the next thing you know, you can't get a job nowhere. For what? And I'm not saying don't ever speak on anything. I'm saying there's a time, there's a place, there's a way to do it, and there's a way to do it that you can be heard and not seen as somebody just being militant and all crazy about it. You
Right.
can do it in a way where people will hear you and they will listen. So I understand what Monique was going through. I understand she felt she wasn't paid enough. There's a lot of people that felt they wasn't paid enough for a lot of movies. If you go speak to a lot of these actors, they told you I got $5,000 for that movie, and that
That's
movie
right.
made
That's
millions.
Hollywood.
They had to bite the bullet and move on with life. So like I said, that movie wasn't what it was in the beginning. It became all of that afterwards. So you couldn't renegotiate. I'm sorry. When I get offered a job and they offer me this salary, then I go find out 10 other people are getting more. I can't go back to HR and say, you know what? I heard they getting $50,000 more than me. Well, baby girl, you accepted the price we gave you. So you're going to have to live with it and wait till you get a raise and see what we can do. So, renegotiations don't always go in your favor. Sometimes they say yay, sometimes they say nay. But my thing is, with all the talent that Monique has in her, everything that she could have did, to me, she wasted 13 years. And for what? What did you prove? What did you earn? What did you get? Where did you go? And if she had all of these millions in the bank, then she would have just went ahead and did the publicity and took that hit, knowing that there's something greater down the line.
Miss
Well,
Diva, I
maybe she
wanted to
didn't
say one
care.
thing. If I could say one thing, because you said something that was just so wonderful there. I was just going to piggyback and say, so when you told your friend not to go buck wild, in my mind, what I thought was that, okay, if your friend did do that, I would have hoped that they were like, you know what, I am leaving this industry. I'm going to do something totally different, because just what you said, yes, if you kill, so that's what I was saying with Monique, if you working actress, and maybe now you want to be a comedian who's doing brilliant commentary about your experience in Hollywood, maybe that's what I feel her brand is now. But maybe she, I think that sometimes when you make these sort of decisions in your life, you have to be very conscious. You have to be like, okay, I'm sitting down at the table and I cannot deal with the crooks and the fakes and the crazy people in Hollywood. So I'm going to sit down on this day and I'm going to say, I'm not going to never do acting again. So now I can cuss everybody out because I'm not going to be an actress. So maybe she didn't make that a conscious decision. So a person like you describing, your friend, maybe if they say, I'm tired of this industry, I don't want to be or whatever I am right now, I'm going to do something different. So now I'm going to cuss this person out because they're never going to be able to blackball me in this industry. So I think sometimes it's two ways. You can really get fed up and want to speak your truth because you're going on something else, or you have to play the game. So for me, I'm in the middle, because there are things in my life that, I'm never going to do this again. So yes, I'm going to say my truth, because I knew I was never going to go back to do whatever it is. So we have choices in life. And I think that the only thing with Monique, if she made a choice that was empowered, I'm not going to be an actress again, I had no problem with that. It's like, okay, well, because it's true. Like other people have said, once you say something, look at those women who said Me Too movement. They had to be quiet about some of the things they had to deal with these men because they want to keep their careers. So I think that, people do make choices. And if you make an empowered choice, then there's no problem. You have 13 years of living in your empowered choice. You're now, telling your truth about things in your act. And I think that, many comedians does that. They sort of go on to something else. And this is her brand. Her brand is being this sort of very funny and very, the way she describes her Hollywood experiences. I actually enjoy it myself when I've listened to some of her programs. So I don't think that she's a loser. I just think that she made a different choice.
This is a great conversation. I want to bring up new people, but people are saying that we have a slave mentality, and Lisa, save this panel.
Oh, Lord.
Okay. No, and let me say this though about that. Right?
We're not
guys.
mad. That's their opinion. That's their opinion, right? That's their opinion. Are you mad, Perry?
No. Okay. I'm saying I embrace everybody's opinion.
Yeah.
But I have an opinion of my own.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I'm just saying, I understand what Jeff Green's saying. You can look at it from afar. But at any one point in his life, have you made a decision that wasn't really in your favor, you didn't like it, and you had to bow down? And seriously, if you tell me no,
you lying.
I'm probably going to say you're lying.
You
but
lying.
I don't know you like that. But what I'm saying is, we have an adult conversation about adult things, that adult decisions that we have to make.
Right.
Because when you cross these roads, either if I go and do this, this is gonna be my consequence, whether it's everybody else's consequence or not.
That's right. I agree.
You sort of understand this,
Right.
and it's not easy
No.
living in this world. Look at the rappers and people who sign all these contracts and stuff. People will beat you down, whether black, white, because a lot of it come on black with the music industry. Jeff Green. What I'm saying is, we can say it's a slave mentality. We just being open. Yeah, we would want things to be fair.
Yeah.
But where we at right now is where we at. But
all right. Let me bring up Mel. I'm going to drop you. Lisa, I'm going to keep you here to save the culture. And we're going to bring up another caller.
Lord have mercy.
You know what's funny?
Okay.
Though, I got to say this. They say enslaved mentality, but I see it every day on the job. People are not standing up. They're not speaking up because they got a mortgage to pay, a car note to pay. I had a job one time where they had a union. Okay, they had a boycott or whatever, right? And they walked out. I was able to walk out at the time because I was young and I was living at home with my mom. There was other people that were working that was like, I have to cross this line because my kids won't eat. I won't eat. When you're in the union doesn't pay you automatically when there's a walkout. Right. There's a 5-day period. You don't get no money. You can't use none of your sick days. You get no check. Most of this world is a paycheck away from poverty. So when people want to sit there and say slave mentality, I'm going to say straight up, I'll say it. Perry didn't want to say it. You're lying if you're saying that you never backed down, bowed down, held your tongue for the greater good. And the greater good of feeding your family, saving your career, and still working because you got a car note, a mortgage, and everything else to pay. Like I said, people was like, oh, you got integrity. No, I had integrity that time because literally I was living at home and the paycheck I was getting, I was buying clothes, paying my little car note and my cell phone bill. And when I didn't have the money, I called my daddy and he gave me the money. Everybody don't have.
I gotta bring in more callers.
Okay, I was gonna say lastly, I just think that every choice has a consequence. That's just my last saying. Whatever, if you think really straight through, you make a choice, it has a consequence. I think that's what we're all saying basically. Whatever way you go, if you have its consequences to it.
Whether fair or wrong.
If you accept it, that's your prerogative. That's at the end of the day.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am.
Come on now. This is fine. I love it. I love every minute of it. Come on now.
Thank you, Mel. I appreciate the call. Let me try to get in more people. Y'all are a mess. Smoke.
Oh, here we go.
Here comes the smoke. Lisa, I got you today, girl. I got you. We coming for
Here come the smoke now.
Here comes the smoke. Come on now.
Here's the thing. I'm going to just explain the Monique and Oprah situation because it's completely nuanced. So here's the thing. When Monique did Precious, she had a contract with Lee Daniels Entertainment. Right. And in that contract, I think she got a 5% back end deal, which probably brought her salary to $65,000 or $60,000, around that ballpark. And in that was promotion domestically. When it got popular at Sundance, that's when Oprah and Lee Daniels joined in and they're like, okay, let's promote this outward. And that's when she got the offer to go to, I think, Cannes in France. And she did have a discussion with Lionsgate, with Oprah and Tyler Perry, and being like, no, I'm at home with my babies. I'm good. Like she was like also she was doing a comedy tour at the same time. So she was still working. So she's like, no, I'm good. And then once her husband got involved, he was saying like, well, is there a number attached? Because they kept going back to work and they were willing to negotiate, but they're like, oh no, we don't pay people for that. And there says like, that's no problem. We don't work for free. So that was the whole case of what was happening with Monique. She just respectfully declined. Now, the issue that comes in with Oprah, her Aunt Jemima ass, is that she has always been low down and dirty. Look how she did Michael Jackson. She brought on those boys after he was acquitted. And then she tried to throw him under the bus after she had that man on her show to discredit him and make him look like a P word. But lo and behold, she was friends with Jeffrey Epstein, and that Harvey Weinstein. So Oprah ain't no saint either. She can go straight to hell for all I care because she does the service. Look at her school as well. She has some cases too as well. She has some bones that need to be buried up just as much. So that is the case of that. But in regards to what Monique is trying to do, she is basically saying, when do we stop going along to get along? That is her whole point. And that's the thing that people miss out, is that we're always
But does
trying
that
to
come with a consequence, Smoke?
It does, but I think there's greater things in numbers. So I think when Monique is trying to galvanize, and even this, going back to, I'll even bring up the Netflix deal, what people don't know about that. They were offering her $500,000. That was $500,000 for 2 years for her to not work completely. So let me tell you something. Let's just do basic math. She has to give half of that money for taxes and to her team and whatnot. So you're telling me a woman is supposed to live off $100,000 or so to support herself and support her family and not be able to work? That's fair. So Monique is just speaking out where other people have always tried to just get by. And I think she's starting a conversation where, okay, we need to start looking at these issues. If Monique was truly problematic, she had worked years prior on The Parkers. She had a comedy show. She had all these different things. Why has no one in those time frames come out and said that Monique was problematic at all? It was only when she started to work with, I won't even say Lee Daniels because they were okay, but they had issues. It was when Oprah Winfrey and Tyler Perry got involved that now she's a problem. All of a sudden, it's an issue with her. So that's where I stand in regards to that, in regards to Miss Monique and Oprah and on that situation.
The Oprah thing, I forgot about the Michael Jackson thing. I really did. She did do him dirty.
I don't think anybody is saying that Oprah is the greatest person.
Yeah,
thank you, B.
All the stuff that they're saying about Oprah, I agree with, but that has nothing to do with Hollywood and its protocol. Her personality.
You just heard this though. She did follow protocol. She did the domestic that she was
if she didn't go out and promote that movie.
She did domestically. She
followed
her contract.
I get that. It's a lot of people that follow the law that still get arrested.
Yeah.
And I know we'll say it's not on the same term. I'm saying we understand life isn't fair. It's not fair. When you deal with assholes, asshole things happen.
Right.
It's what
So let me add this, Smoke. Have you never on your job worked the extra 30 minutes, hour, 2 hours, 3 hours, and not gotten paid?
No, I've never done that. I always gotten paid, and I've always worked at places where I have felt respected, and I like the people I work with. So it was not a problem for me to do that.
Lucky you. Let me tell you something. When you are a salaried employee, right? There's a thing between difference when it's somebody's hourly and when somebody's salary. When you're a salaried employee and you don't a lot of salaried employees don't get overtime. Okay. So then if the job ends at 5, but you got a case you got to finish or something about that, you finish out the case. There are plenty of jobs where I have worked overtime and I did not physically get paid the overtime. Now, when I had an hourly job where I punched in and out, yes, I did. But I also had tons of salary jobs where I worked 50 hours a week and I only got paid to put my check of 40 hours a week. But it was for the greater good. At the end of the day, it was a win-win situation for me. So I'm saying that every single thing that you do, there are people that do internships and they don't get paid. They're doing an internship for the greater good. So when they finish college, they can get a job in that particular area so that they know that, okay, I'm going to have an internship in engineering. When I get out, I could put on my resume that I did this internship. They didn't get a dime for that. So what I'm saying is she got paid for the movie. Yes, the contract matter said domestic, but if they were me and they would have said, I would have been like, look, y'all, I don't have the money to be flying over here and there, whatever. So I can do it, but we got to figure out something so that I can have the money. And so that also when I'm on that red carpet, I can have something cute on because I need to look right and my hair need to be done and my makeup need to be done in order for me to do it. But I'm just saying, I get what y'all trying to say, but I'm saying to lose 13 years of your career, I wouldn't have died on that sword.
But Diva, when did they stop working for free, though?
I'm sorry, Smoke. Go ahead, because I'm. Then
But
I'm gonna come
when
back
do we
to-
stop working for free?
Thank
Monique
you.
did have that conversation where she's like, okay, well, let's come to the table and find a meeting ground. They did not want to play ball with her. And that's the whole point. Now that's just
I
a
wouldn't
bigger
took the hit for
conversation
the way to word.
of work in America, of like, why are we still working for free? Everyone's time is valuable and they should be paid accordingly. So I'm sorry,
I would
no.
agree with that too. No, I
Sometimes
mean,
you're not going to get paid for the time. Sometimes
And
the
then I
payment
take
comes
off.
in something other than money.
Listen,
Sometimes the payment comes in something other than money. Every payment is not going to be a dollar bill or a paycheck. So you're saying to me it was worth it for her not to be in any movie, any TV show, do any comedy thing for 13 years? You saying this was worth it?
She was working, but she's starting a bigger conversation. And what I have to say in regards to that, as far as like her not working, she was still working. Was she working to the level that she could have? Absolutely not. But she was still able to be like doing her shows and whatnot, but she's still airing people out accordingly, because that is a problem not only she faces, but other actresses of color in Hollywood are facing, where they are not getting paid their worth. Viola Davis has had the same conversation. And even on top of that, another thing Monique has said is, why do we always have to keep waiting until the next time to get our just due, to get our pay? That is where she is coming from. And until we get to that point, we're constantly going to be
waiting, though. Viola Davis is making her cash.
Right. Viola Davis chose her route to do it. That's different. Viola did her route. Monique is doing hers. Neither one is wrong to me, period.
Right. She made her own. Monique has made her choice. I can't say that her choice is wrong because it's for her choice. Right, she did a Vegas residency. If I'm not mistaken, Smoke, didn't she do a Vegas residency during the
first comedian to be in Las Vegas to have a residency?
Absolutely. So where she got paid handsomely. She got paid very well. The thing is we're comparing apples to oranges here. I've had plenty of salary jobs. When I was in corporate America, by the time I was 25 years old, all the way till I retired from corporate America to work my own company last year, I had numerous. I only worked salary. I didn't work hourly. So if I work 40 hours this week, guess what? Next week I'm working 30. You ain't finna see me, because I'm gonna make sure this is an even energy exchange. You don't get to use me. I did that in my 20s when I didn't know any better. By the time I got to my 30s and my 40s, I knew my value and I knew my worth. So as long as we're doing an even energy exchange, that's totally
so
fine.
they using you if you work an extra hour.
She fulfilled her contract. Period. The thing took off. She comes to the table and says, or the husband says, we don't work for free, because she didn't work for free under the contract for the domestic production. So why do we have an expectation? And I think this is where this whole mentality concept is coming in at. There's a verbiage we're using, right, or that's being used, like kiss the ring and do this and do that. It's not about that, right? It is, you want me to do this. I fulfill my contract. I tell you, you don't want to come to the table and negotiate, but then you blackball me and say, I'm not
being difficult
to work with
because
because
she didn't work.
Pay me? Come on.
She didn't work.
Because the thing about that is, in corporate America and Hollywood, it's a person that calls this. It's the person that signs the contract, and it's the person that writes the contract. When you don't have the control when you the person signing the contract. You have the control when you the person that writing the contract.
But
and that's what people
the
get
contract.
She signed it though.
You're not calling the shot.
She fulfilled her contract with Lee Daniels Entertainment. She fulfilled her contract.
I get that part. But what I'm trying to say is, you're not calling the shots. If you're the person that's signing the contract, you're not calling the shots. The person that's writing the contract is the person that's calling the shots. And so that's what.
Go ahead.
Which would have been Lee Daniels, though.
Well, that's where she got into trouble. And I get it when you say, you have to be proud and you have to stand up. I mean, I've been in corporate America for a long, long time, and I always wanted to be up at the top. I got to be a supervisor in corporate America, but because I was the way I was, and wanted to call my own shot, I couldn't go any farther than that. I was held back because of the way I was. I refused to conform. And that's the 13 years that she spent out there without no job because
She had a job. We have to
All right,
stop.
But she didn't have a job that she was happy
working.
about.
I hate.
She didn't have a job she was happy about. That's why she's keep crying that
That's
she's
not
blackballed.
true.
No, she was
Well,
still
then why
doing
cry that she
comedy.
blackballed then?
Okay,
Her thing is just the
brings it up.
fairness. It's just
Why
the fairness of
Okay,
it
okay.
all.
I
It's
hate
just
to. I hate to do this. I hate to do it
Yes, dear.
because I got more videos to do, but I got to end the video. We went over again. I hate to do it.
I had to come for my sis, good Lisa, because she was sitting here fighting a good fight by herself. I got you. I love y'all still. I love all of y'all still.
Right,
I love
right.
you, all y'all still, but I had to help my sis.
Thanks for bringing the smoke.
This is what I like about this channel. We're having better and better conversations every
Absolutely.
damn day. This was
I
good,
agree.
but what will happen is I'll go over, I get tired, I end up not doing my third video for the day because I'm so tired. So I hate to do it, you guys. I got to end it here. I'm strictly out of time period. I hate to keep doing it to you guys backstage, people that don't get in, but what happens, I got to figure something out. People get up here and we get into good spirited conversation. I don't want to cut somebody off. And so people end up not getting in. And I just got to figure something out. I don't know. I apologize to everybody backstage. Thank you, Smoke. Thank you, Lisa. I appreciate you guys calling in.
Stop bringing
Thanks,
Lisa
Smokey.
up, and we won't have the good conversation.
Oh, wow.
You want me to go back
Lisa.
to Heart of Inspiration? You want Heart of Inspiration back, not Lisa. You want Heart of Inspiration.
Basically.
All right, you guys, I got to end it here. Thank you, Lisa. Thank you, Smoke. I appreciate it.
Thank you, guys.
I
Bye.
apologize
Bye.
again if I did
Bye,
not get to
Lisa.
your call backstage. As you could see, this got spirited, but I'm completely out of time. I want to thank everybody for your super chats. You don't have to support the channel, and you do. And I'm just going to ask you, can we do it again tomorrow? It's so good, but I got to go. On 3, let's say bye, guys. 1, 2, 3.
Bye.
Bye, guys.